And we are on. Welcome back to the Unpopular Playground. I am Jenn Lin, and this is Debbie. Say hi, Debbie. Hi. And we are going to be specializing in today's public transit. So I'm going to let Debbie start off. She's got the specialty research for this episode. Go ahead, Debbie. It's all you.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. In our last session, we touched on some of the topics that we're going to be discussing today in Public Transit Survival Guide. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. This involves planning your route, waiting in safe areas, keeping your belongings secure, and practicing good etiquette. To ensure safety, be aware of your surroundings. Don't run for a vehicle and be mindful of the gaps when boarding or exiting. Bring entertainment, snacks, pillow if needed, especially on longer trips. Plan ahead. Know your route, schedules, and payment requirements beforehand to avoid confusion and fumbling with cash. Wait safely. Avoid deserted or unlit areas while waiting. If possible, wait inside a well lit public place until your bus or train is about to arrive. And never, ever stand close to the train tracks. Stay alert. Pay attention to your surroundings and be aware of anyone or anything suspicious. Keep your valuables hidden and close, ideally in your lap or under your arm. They have coarse shoulder bags that you can wear and wear a jacket or something over it so nobody could see it, which is great because they can't be snatched from you like a purse hanging over your shoulder. Do not keep them in a back pocket, and don't flash expensive jewelry. You've got rings, diamonds, or jewels, turn them around so all you can see is the underside, just the band. People see this stuff. I know in New York City, they will cut your finger off just to get your diamond ring. They will pull the necklace from your neck. They don't care. So make sure, tuck them inside your shirt. Just don't flash anything that's going to say, here, come get me. Be aware of that kind of stuff. Be cautious when boarding. Never try to board a vehicle once the doors have started to close. And watch your step to avoid the gap between the platform and the train. Protect your belongings. Don't place your bag on the seat next to you. Keep it in your lap or between your feet. Comfort and etiquette. Bring essentials. Pack entertainment, pack a snack, and pack a pillow if you're going on a longer journey. Know the rules. Pay your fare before boarding and follow no smoking policies. Be considerate of others. Store your bags properly so they don't take up too much space. Offer assistance to disabled passengers and move to the back of the vehicle in a crowd to help with crowd control. Respect quiet zones. If there are designated quiet zones, keep noise levels low and avoid loud music. Sit or stand appropriately. It's best to stand if the vehicle is crowded to allow more people to board. Stay seated while the vehicle's in motion to avoid injury. Emergency preparedness. Know your exits. When you're on a plane, the stewardess will stand and tell you, this is your exits. Here they are. Pay attention. When an accident or an emergency happens, everybody's like, oh, I don't know. Where am I supposed to go? And they're trifling everybody. Pay attention. Be aware of emergency exits and buttons on the vehicle. In a plane, pay attention to your flight attendants as they demonstrate emergency protocols, where to find your life vests, emergency exit doors, and the oxygen masks. Stay calm. If you feel anxious, practice deep breathing or positive self-talk. Having a plan can help you feel more in control. Consider self-defense items. If you feel it's necessary, research and carry items for self-defense, being sure to check local laws regarding their legality. Jen, do you have anything else that you want to add to that?
I think that was perfect. Probably the only other thing that I would add, I liked how in the first episode in the introduction, you mentioned about knowing how to read a map, knowing your general direction and how to find that. Most people depend on the GPS, which is great. You can use Waze or Google Maps. But if you don't have an internet signal, you're screwed. You have to know your basic direction of north, south, east, and west. An easy way to do that: above you is north, below you is south, to your right is east, to your left is west. As long as you know where north is in the general direction of where you're at, then you can, knowing north, south, east, west, you're like, okay, well, if I know this is north, I know anything the opposite direction is south, and then it's going to be, okay, I have to face north, then it's going to be east and west.
Right.
But you always have to be facing north. And you do it that same way when you're looking at a map, on a physical map. Map literacy, like Debbie said, is very important for those offline areas. And what the north, south, east, and west are called cardinal. I taught it when I was in school, basic things for history, how to read a map in the military. You learn how to read a map with a compass to be able to find your north point. If you don't have buildings and you're in the middle of nowhere, might be a good idea to have a compass in your
Yeah.
car, to carry it with you in your pocket, just in case you're in an area that you can't determine because you don't have any landmarks to determine north. Then at least you have a good idea of how to find where you need to be going in case you get lost. Another way, like you have landmarks, symbols, rivers, mountains, streets, buildings to keep you oriented. But having that situational awareness, observing your surroundings, GPS can also be wrong even when you are online. I've been taken to a place and it says, "You are here." And there's nothing there but a cornfield. So if your GPS is wrong or you don't have anything, you got to know where you're at. What if you're gone and you run out of supplies? Then you don't have any more water. It's very essential to know that. Put your ego aside and ask for directions. Ask
Right.
another human for directions. Most people will have compassion on you, and you'll surprised on who the nicest people are. If that person doesn't know, they'll overhear saying, "Oh, hi, you're looking for this?" They don't know. I know exactly where it's at. And because they know what it feels like to be lost. If
Right.
I see somebody that's lost, I'm more than happy to help point them in the right direction because nobody loves being lost. Teach your kids, and hopefully your parents have taught you some sort of direction because you go travel with your parents, with your family, and you get lost because, that shiny toy got you. And then you look around and your family's gone. How are you going to be able to find your family? How are you going to be able to find a point? If you get lost, this is going to be our meeting place. And then you can always ask people, where's guest relations? Most people can direct you towards there automatically. When you get lost, you're going to meet at that certain point. But if you don't know your sense of directions or land points and how to orient yourself so that you can go find these places or have the guts to ask, that can be a safety hazard for you.
Right. And I have to say one thing, and I'm not discriminating against the sexes, but women have no problem asking for directions.
Yes.
Men, on the other hand, they'll be like, no, I'll find it. I'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll find it. And the next thing you know, you're in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and it's like, nope, this don't look like Texas to me. And I'm telling you, my husband was the worst for asking for directions. I had gone back to New York for my reunion, and I got to a point, I was staying in Airbnb, and then I had to drive to the place where the reunion was being held. And I hadn't been back to my hometown in 50 years. Of course, everything looked different. And the place where I was going was a place where me and my high school friends we used to go all the time and rent boats and go out on the lake and do all this fun stuff. And I'm driving and I put it in GPS in the car, the screen, and everything. And I'm like, I don't know, because telling you to turn here, but it's like, you get there and it's like, okay, it's telling me this. But then you see like the signs there, but does it mean turn here or go up a little bit and turn? So I pull off into a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven, and I go inside and I ask the guy, I go, this is what I need to go. And this gentleman, he says to me, he goes, where are you looking to go? And I mean, he's dressed in like, he looks like a gardener. Exactly. That is what he is. So he says, oh, follow me. I know exactly where you're going because I do landscaping out there. And I was like, really? He says, yeah, follow me. And I go, okay. And I get in my car and his truck has got the shovels and the rakes and the lawnmowers. I'm like, oh, so I follow him. And as we're driving, it starts to rain. So he pulls over on the side of the road and he comes up to my window and he goes, okay, I'm not going to be able to do my job today because of the rain, but this is what you need to do. And he's standing outside my window in the pouring rain and he's telling me, need to go here at this exit. You're going to make this turn. Then you're going to go down. You're going to make another turn. He says, and then take that road right down and you will see where you need to be. But the thing is, I went in, the guy in the convenience store had no clue what I was talking about. And this guy overheard and he was like, yes, follow me. Ask somebody, I don't know where I'm going. Can you give me directions? And I'm not saying this to downgrade.
It's just faster to ask somebody.
But if you're traveling, and push him to ask for directions or tell him to stop the car and you get out and ask for the directions.
Because I have a very similar story. I have so many. One of my favorites is I was in the military and we were going to pick somebody up. And I said, I think that was our turn. No, I don't think that's it. Next thing you know, I was in Germany and we're in Stuttgart, which is 3 freaking hours away from where we needed to be. And I was like, we should have turned off on Autobahn 6, but you didn't want to stop and ask for directions. And yeah, we were picking somebody up from Frankfurt.
Yeah, it's the male ego. They just, they don't want to admit that they don't know everything. You will waste so much time and
it's so unnecessary. So if you're a young man, put that ego aside.
Yeah.
And if you have that much ego, pull over and have your girl ask. And your girl insist. Don't pull over. Go potty or whatever. Make them stop. Tell me you gotta go to the bathroom. Any excuse to stop so you can ask for directions and get put on the right way. It will save you face. Women don't mind asking, I promise you. But we don't want to be put off for hours.
Because not only are you wasting your time, you're wasting gas, and you're going to get an argument once you realize you're 3 hours away and now you got to come back. So that's another 3 hours. So you wasted 6 hours of your life. And on that happy note, we're going to conclude on this episode.
Yes.
And if you have any comments or questions, you can put it in on our comments and questions.
Share it, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It helps us get the information out to people who need it. Share this episode with people that your friends, your young friends. If you're a parent, share it with your kids.
Exactly.
That are your soon-to-be adult kids, or even if you have adult kids. It really can be for anybody. We welcome you to our community as well. So take care. And the next episode, Debbie, for next week is going to be
101.
Yeah. So you got a car, you decide that public transit isn't for you. This is going to be the episode for you. Tune in next week. And on that note, stay curious,
stay focused,
and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.